The Ramayana and the Mahabharata are the two epics of India. Among these, Mahabharata is the longest epic poem or Idihasa in the world. The word Idihasa means thus it was. Mahabharata provides valuable information about the social condition and code of conduct of ancient India. The central theme of Mahabharata was the battle of Kurukshetra between the Kauravas and the Pandavas. It is believed that the author of Mahabharata was Vedavyasa, but modern historians said that it was not the work of a single author. Mahabharata originally consists of less than 10,000 verses. Ultimately, it grew into a text of 1 lakh verses. It was not composed in a specific period. The original story of Mahabharata was composed by charioteer bards known as Sudas. The Sudas accompanied Kshatriya warriors to the battlefield and composed poems celebrating their victories and achievements. These compositions circulated orally from one generation to another. It was from the 5th century BC that the Brahmins began to write it down in Sanskrit language. Another phase in the composition of Mahabharata was between 200 BCE and 200 CE. This was the period when the worship of Lord Vishnu was gaining importance. Lord Krishna, an important figure of the epic, was identified with Lord Vishnu. Historians classify the contents of Mahabharata into two. They are narrative and didactic. The narrative section contains stories, while the didactic section contains prescriptions about social norms. But some didactic sections include stories, and the narrative often contains social messages. Historians agree that the didactic portions are a later addition. Between 200 CE and 400 CE, large didactic sections resembling the Manusmriti were added to the epic. Thus, Mahabharata grew into a large text consisting of 1 lakh verses. The critical study of Mahabharata was started in 1919 by a Sanskrit scholar V.S. Suktangar and dozens of scholars. Their task was to prepare a critical edition of Mahabharata. Initially, the scholars collected all the Sanskrit manuscript Mahabharatas in different scripts and compared each other. Ultimately, they selected the verses that appeared in most versions and published in several volumes running into over 13,000 pages. The project took 47 years to complete. Mahabharata contains vivid descriptions of battles, forests, palaces, and settlements. Many historians tried to verify the authenticity of these descriptions. In 1951-52, famous archaeologist B.B. Lal excavated at a village named Hastinapur in Meerut in Uttar Pradesh. It was in the location of the site in the Upper Ganga Doab that the Kuru kingdom was situated. It suggests that it may have been the capital of Kurus mentioned in Mahabharata. B.B. Lal found evidences of 5 occupational levels. Lal found traces of houses with reed walls plastered over with mud built between 12th to 7th century BCE. But he could not find definite plans of houses. Lal found the ruins of houses built between 6th and 3rd century BCE. He noted that houses were built with mud brick as well as burned bricks. He also found the remains of drainage pits. The discoveries of Lal do not match with the description of Hastinapur in epic. Hastinapura was described in the epic as a magnificent city. So, historians assumed that the description of Hastinapur was probably added to the central story to the epic after the development of urban centers in 6th century BCE. Some others believe that it was a flight of poetic fancy and exaggeration. A salient feature of Mahabharata is its dynamism. Its growth did not end with the writing of Sanskrit version. Different versions of the epic were written in a variety of languages over centuries. It incorporated several stories that originated in specific regions. The central story of Mahabharata was retold by many writers in creative ways. Randamoolam of M.D. Vasudevan Nair, Yayadhi of Kandhakar, Kundi or Nishadi of Mahasheda Devi are important among them. Many episodes from Mahabharata were depicted in sculpture and painting. They also provide themes for a variety of performing arts, which included plays, dramas, dance forms, Kathakali, and other kinds of narrations.